Hello, good morning, students. Today's class we have discussed selection of number of poles in DC machine. So, selection of number of poles it depends on many factors. In case of AC machine, we are going to select the poles depends upon speed of machine and supply frequency, because by using the relation synchronous speed ns equal to 120 f by p, where f is known as supply frequency and ns is known as synchronous speed of the machine. But in case of DC machines, the choice of poles is not restricted by using any relation, but it is restricted on the sound design as well as the economical design. Depending upon these two factors, we have to select the number of poles. So, the selection of number of poles in DC machine mainly depends on frequency, weight of iron parts, weight of copper, length of commutator, labor charges and flashover and distribution of field form. So, now number one, the frequency. After listing the factors, you go on discussing one by one. So, very first it is the frequency. The selection of number of poles in DC machine is such that the frequency of flux reversals should be low. So, this happens if selection of number of poles is low, then frequency of the system is also low. If the more number of poles are selected, frequency of flux reversals is very high. Therefore, the eligible poles should be lies between the frequency of flux reversal, that is not minimum, not maximum. The frequency of flux reversals should lie between 25 to 50 hertz. That is the first point. Second one, weight of iron parts. The selection of more number of poles which reduces the cross-sectional area of yoke. It also results the reduction of iron parts in the machine. Hence, by increasing the number of poles, weight of the armature core can be reduced, which in force the overall diameter of the machine also can be reduced. For economical point of view, more number of poles is a best choice. Number 3, weight of copper. The selection of poles also depends upon windings used in the machines. If the weight of copper in the armature and field winding decreases with the increase of number of poles, that is the one factor. So, next one, length of commutator. The selection of number of poles also depends on the length of the commutator of DC machine. If more number of poles are used, then it can reduce the length of commutator. It also reduces the overall length of the machine. Labor charges. By increasing the number of poles, the proportionally labor charge also goes on increasing. Next one, flashover and distortion of the field form. The use of large number of poles also results the increase in flashover. So, after discussing the selection of larger number of poles will result both. It is in advantages. In some situation, it also causes disadvantages. So, first we have to see that by use of number of poles, it results the reduction in weight of armature core and yoke, cost of the armature and field conductor, overall length and diameter of the machine, distortion of field form under rolled condition. This causes advantageous points. At the same junction, it also results some of the disadvantages. So, that is increase in number of poles, it results the increase in frequency of flux reversals and increase in labor charges and increase in possibility of flashover between brush arm. So, there are some guiding factors for selection of number of poles. So very first we have to check the frequency of flux reversals by trial and error method. By using the number of poles, the frequency should lie between 25 to 50 Hz. Point number 1. Point number 2. The value of current per parallel path is limited to 200 ampere. So current per parallel path equal to armature current divided by number of parallel paths. So number of parallel paths is equal to number of poles in case of lap winding. Hence, in case of lap winding, current per parallel path equal to Ia by P. On the other hand, if the machine has wave winding, in such condition, current per parallel path should be equal to Ia divided by 2 in case of wave wound. So number 3, current per brush arm. Third condition, current per brush arm, that should be equal to 2 times of armature current divided by number of parallel paths. Again it becomes for wave winding 2 times of Ia divided by P. And in case of wave winding, number of parallel paths equal to 2. In case of lap winding, number of parallel paths equal to number of poles. In case of wave winding, number of parallel paths A equal to 2. Finally, current per brush arm becomes Ia. So this value should not be greater than 400 ampere. Fourth point, the armature MMF should not be too large. The normal value of armature MMF per pole is as shown in the table. So you can see it depends upon rating of machine. For example, output of machine up to 100 kilowatt, armature MMF per pole is up to 5000. In second condition, output of kilowatt 100 to 500. In such condition, the armature MMF per pole varies from 5000 to 7500. If machine has output in the range of 500 to 1500 kilowatt, this armature MMF per pole varies 7500 to 10,000 angstrom and so on. So last one more point is very important. If more than one choice is available, that means more number of options are available. For example, number of poles P equal to 4 is also eligible. Number of poles P is also 2 is number of poles P equal to 2 is also eligible. That means 2 options are satisfied above all conditions. Finally, designer should select for higher number of poles for economical design as a constraint. Sir, you note this point. Once again, if 2 chances are available, 2 choice of poles options are available. For example, P equal to 2. For example, P equal to 4. These 2 options of poles are available. Finally, satisfying all these conditions, our final choice is higher number of poles, that is P equal to 2, P equal to 4. Out of these 2, my choice is P equal to 4 for economical design. So read out, sir. This is very useful for design of DC machines. Thank you to one and all.